Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and in this segment of our show we're going to be talking about the Queens of Egypt exhibition held at the National Geographic Museum in Washington, D.C. And on this issue we're glad to be joined here at the studio live by Mr. Ahmed Nicola, tourism expert. Thank you, sir, for joining us today.
Thanks for being here.
Sir, how do you see the significance of holding such an exhibition in Washington? And of course, 96,000 people visited the exhibition so far.
It is very, very important because it is a publicity for our country that we don't pay for it. Actually, they pay for it. I mean, the foreigners pay for us to show pieces of our history, and in return we get paid and we get huge publicity. Mm-hmm. As the media has mentioned that we already got 70,000 visitors. Mm-hmm. Imagine each and every visitor talking about the same subject with his family and with his relatives and friends. This will be a huge propaganda. Mm-hmm. for Egypt, and because of these events, Egypt now became back as a hot destination worldwide. Mm-hmm. Adding to that, the place where the exhibition taking place, which is the National Geographic place, is very well distributed all over the world. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows about the National Geographic.
Definitely.
So when the National Geographic itself do an event or an exhibition, it adds on to the value of the event, and it adds more publicity to the event. Especially that we all know that the Americans and Westerns, they do care about the position of ladies and women's all over the world. So this exhibition especially is talking about how the Egyptian women were a queen 3,000-4,000 years ago. Well, now we have people talking about hiding her and putting her aside, and our women's, the Egyptian women's, were queens 4,000 years ago.
Definitely. How do you see this, sir? How do you see the role of women in old Egypt as depicted in the Queens of Egypt Museum?
As we all know, as Egyptian, I hope the whole world know, we had great queens governed Egypt, and not only governed, but also helped in developing all Egypt. Talking about Hatshepsut, talking about Cleopatra, talking about Nefertari, the queen, although she was not the ruler, but she had all the facilities in her hand at the Ramses the Great, the second time. Always we had in our history a lady, a queen, that really made us now proud, and made us, we rose our nose up because we had that woman at that time ruling our country.
Right. Sir, we've just been talking before the air also about the Tutankhamun exhibition in Los Angeles and in Paris that also attracted thousands of visitors. How does this reflect on Egyptian tourism?
It is very important. As I mentioned in the beginning for the American exhibition at the National Geographic, now we are talking about millions visited the event in Paris, and others are willing to go, trying to extend more time to have more people visiting the pharaonic exhibition in Paris. We got the publicity. We are getting the French back to Egypt because they don't get enough seeing a few pieces in the exhibition there. They only got like a temptation of how, and there when they see it, I want to go to Egypt. I want to see the rest of it. I want to know the whole story. I want to see Luxor, Aswan, where all these small bits and pieces that is visiting Paris is being actually created and being actually positioned for thousands of years in this area.
Right. Well, sir, also in relation to what you've just been saying, that these exhibitions abroad attracts more tourists to Egypt. Also, the Grand Egyptian Museum will be opening soon in 2020. How do you see the significance of those exhibitions in promoting the new Egyptian Museum, the Grand Egyptian Museum, and promoting tourism in Egypt, of course?
Well, let me tell you, according to my knowledge, because I've been in this business for over 25 years, I've never seen such an attraction to Egypt as the story of the new museum. Every day I get calls, I get mails asking when will the new museum will open. The world is waiting for this museum, and we should be very well prepared for this museum, because as I see it now, from now, we're going to have a demand that God help us, how are we going to accommodate all these clients? We are talking now, Egypt now is back to track. The Egypt tour, the hotels, while we're sitting now, they are full. Cairo is full. There is no rooms in any hotel downtown. We are back on track. So now, when the museum start again, when the new museum open, the whole world wants to come to see the museum. We have to be prepared. We have to have more rooms. We have to have space for the visitors and the guests from all over the world. It is very important to be prepared for this moment, for the Grand Museum opening. Everybody's asking about it.
What preparations are currently taking place, and what do you think are the most important priorities of these preparations for the grand opening of the GM?
As far as I know, the preparation is made more for the museum itself. I wish I can see the Ministry of Culture and Ministry of Tourism hands together to prepare for the event itself, for the opening. Now, the museum, okay, will be open like 1 year from now or maybe less. Now, how many rooms do we have vacant to accommodate clients? I don't see movement in that direction. We do care very much about the museum itself. Good, excellent actually, but we need to be ready from the other side. How to accommodate people to go and visit and to absorb the wave that will happen of tourism to Egypt when this museum started. Putting in consideration that according to the statistics that just came lately 3 days ago, Egypt became the 4th country in the world that has the tourism developed in the past period. We are number 4 in the world attracting tourism now. Okay, and the Grand Museum is not open yet. Look at that event. I'm telling you, everybody's talking about it. All my trips all over the world, when I meet the professional of tourism, any country I visited, always asking about this museum.
Right. Well, sir, as you've mentioned, Egypt scored the 4th highest travel and tourism performance improvement around the world. So how do you see the significance of this, and what are the indicators of this development?
This is of course, for me, I'm cheerful. I'm very happy, because I've seen the years when we were dry. When that revolution came up and we stayed 5 years without tourism in Egypt. And for me, for a man like me who have witnessed the great days of Egypt, I was so sad having dry hotels and empty rooms for a long time. Now we are going back. Now we are 4th in the world when it comes to development. Now Egypt is taking its place, putting the feet down at the ground again, stand up high. Now, I wish that we build on this wave. As I was telling you, now no rooms is available. Now we need to build more hotels. We need to invest in the local sector, to invest in the hotels business and the tourism facilities, things like buses. We do need a lot of new buses to feed in our fleets to transport tourism. We need more facilities within sites, restaurants, small restaurants and things. We need to be prepared to make the people who comes here happy. And even if they are happy, but we want them make even
More
happier.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, sir, when it comes to tourism, we have it all here in Egypt. We have the beaches, the warm weather all around Egypt. We have our old heritage in Luxor and Aswan. So we have the cultural tourism. We have the entertainment tourism. So we have it all when it comes to tourism. How can we further promote our tourism sector?
Well, we still have things to do. Let me tell you something. A country like Spain, the whole population of Spain, I guess they are about 45 million people, and they got 38 million tourists last year. Now, what we want to be like that. We want to have half of our population as guests coming from all over the world. And for this, we need to have more of everything. And we need to educate people even more. We want people to love the tourist, to help him, to accommodate him, to comfort him in the streets, at the cafe, at the hotel. Well, in the hotels, yes, we train our staff how to welcome guests and how to make them happy. But also we want to educate the people. Egyptian people are very kind. We all know that.
Yes.
We are known all over the world that we are very kind people.
True.
But we need more education to the people how to treat a tourist, especially the foreigners. The Arabs and the Middle Easterns, they know, at the end, they know us from the movies, they know how to talk to us. But the foreigners, we need to educate our people. So we need more rooms, we need more facilities, we need to educate people, and we need to keep our infrastructure in the tourism up to date. I mean, we have very good hotels, but some of them, and a big sum of them, is deteriorating, is getting old. So we need to renovate these facilities very fast to make it ready to absorb the wave of tourism coming to us.
There's also a lot of new archaeological discoveries all the time, and definitely there are new touristic attractions in addition to our usual regular touristic attractions. What's new in this field?
Well, personally, I see that opening Abdin Palace for visits was one of the major attractions that added to our tourism sites. Because this is a huge palace with lovely architecture inside, lovely atmosphere, and a very good place to visit. This place needs to be put in the map for the tourism, because in 25 years ago, we had Muhammad Ali Palace in the citadel to visit. Now, when it was born 25 years ago, we don't have an old palaces to visit. Now the Abdin Palace can take this place and can be a very good site to visit.
Right, Mr. Ahmed Nicola, our tourism expert, many thanks for your presence
Thank
and for
you.
your insights, sir.
Thank you.
And dear viewers, with this we come to the end of this edition of Cairo Local Time. Many thanks for watching and stay tuned for more coming up here on ITV International.